Newspaper production and delivery around the country were disrupted last week when a malware attack hit Tribune Publishing's computer network. Authorities worked to contain the virus, which impacted mostly West Coast publications. That includes the LA Times and San Diego Union Tribune. They're now saying they've identified a specific malware program as a culprit, and they believe it originated overseas. For more, CNET senior producer Dan Patterson is here on set with me. So can you explain a little bit about this malware and how they were able to disrupt the system?
Yeah, so Rena, shortly before midnight last Thursday, sports editors who were trying to put the paper to bed, send the copy over to the printer, noticed they couldn't send the copy to the printer. Turns out the entire printing facility had been taken over by a piece of ransomware, that is malware that locks up your computer, and it puts up a little notice that says, if you don't pay this Bitcoin ransom, we're going to delete all the data on your computers. So it turns out that this piece of ransomware had spread through not just Tribune Media, but a few other newspaper publishers in the print publishing division of these papers.
You know, I get big corporations that get hacked, Sony, financial institutions. Why a media company?
Well, there are a number of reasons. First, it could be, well, stuff just happens. And look, when we think about the amount of old, unpatched software out there running on old computers and the likelihood that one of us gets tricked into clicking on one of those phishing links, it could just happen. On the other hand, Ryuk is related to a piece of software called Hermes. Hermes came from North Korea. So North Korea, we know, has a pretty sophisticated track record when it comes to being able to launch malware and ransomware attacks. And both of these pieces of software weren't developed by amateurs. They had some pretty sophisticated components in there. So we don't really know why, the motives, but we do know that media companies are more and more likely to be the victims of these types of sophisticated ransomware attacks.
So is the working hypothesis that North Korea could be behind this? Well,
we always want to caution that attribution when it comes to cyber is pretty difficult. But yeah, the working theory right now is North Korea.
Do we know how advanced this was and how far it's gotten into their system?
Well, so far it seems as though this was kind of limited to newspaper production facilities, the actual paper production facilities. So that is a good sign. However, these types of ransomware and malware attacks, especially when they could come from a nation state, we should always assume these are very sophisticated and there is an intent behind them, even if it's just probing to see how secure our systems are.
What does this media company need to worry about now in terms of risk?
All media companies need to worry about, well, look, we are workplaces. We have deliverables. Sometimes it's a live product, like here at CBSN. Sometimes it's a print product. And when you have a massive ransomware attack like this, the cost of not doing business can exceed the cost of lost damage or damaged parts like damaged computers. So it's incredibly important that we all make sure we are double checking before we click those links. And it's incredibly important that our software is patched and updated.
Can we tell how authorities were able to contain this?
Right now, authorities were not able to contain this, but they were able to kind of sniff out some forensic details that helped us understand the workings of the virus.
And when you talk sort of about these types of attacks, we hear about malware all the time. How common is this? Is it just growing at this point? Is there anything people can do to really protect themselves?
Yeah, this is the new normal. There are things we can do to protect ourselves, which is to make sure we don't click on those phishing links and to stay away from sites and software that might have malicious code embedded in them. But look, cyber and hacking is just the new normal. This is the new way of doing business for organized crime.
So easy to get through the front door, it seems like these days, right?
And the back door and the side door, every door.
Thank you so much, Dan Patterson. Grateful you could join us.
Good to see you.